Morning.
Morning.
How are you doing today, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you. What about you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Hey, Michele.
Hi, happy birthday, Alessio.
Thank you.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Sorry
Thank
about
you.
this. How old are you now?
Yeah, too much. 38.
Nice.
Bon dia.
Bon dia.
Oh,
Let's give it a second and then we can start. Morning. I would say that we can start. So this is 22nd of February 2023, APAC EMEA Delivery Group Weekly. We have some announcement. I think I actually left the same one that we discussed on Monday. So nothing new there. Some people taking some time off, friends and family, a birthday today, actually 2 birthdays today coming up. And we have a discussion point from Amy that she's not in the call, but I guess we can start with
and now
her.
she is.
And now she
Just
is.
join.
Morning.
Sorry.
Morning, Amy. You were just summoned by Michele. Which
Yeah.
made you
You were just at your discussion point.
Of course, I was like, here, I must go. Awesome. So I wanted to, is Sam on the call? That's it. No. I wanted to just give you all a kind of an FYI, because I know that some of you may have already seen in Slack, or you may also see other things in Slack. So configure and release stage groups have been combined, and they are now a new team, all focused on kind of the same sort of problem. There is discussions in Slack. There was an assumption. It sounds like it was just the name delivery was used as a placeholder and has been kind of assumed that's what the team's being called. So you'll see various things through Slack channels about, oh, the new delivery team, or this is being the delivery team. There is an issue that is in progress to discuss team names. Sam is working with Victor to figure out what is the right name for the product, and then we'll go from there. Sam is also, I think, already aware of the cost to us if delivery goes to configure and release, like what we would have to do to move off the delivery name and the confusion that would cost. So he's figuring that out. There is a comment in there around orchestration. I'm more open to that just because there's not a heap of work for us if we end up shifting off that. So I'm going to let Sam and Victor go figure out what makes most sense from the product, and then we can respond from there. But just wanted to let you all know, in case you are seeing that around in Slack, that this is definitely not yet a final naming. Cool. And I think Sam will come back to us with the next steps on that one.
Yeah, it was my question. Do you know if there is a deadline where they say, okay, by this day we have it because we need to organize ourselves, we need to update our handbook or whatever is happening?
I don't know any of the details. I know they were planning to meet this week, but I'm not totally sure.
Okay, perfect. Another question around that. In the case that things go not on the right direction, and we are kind of like asked to be renamed, I think it's something that we need to plan for, because I guess we'll have a lot of work to do even to rename ourselves. And I think it's something that probably we should kind of like make it visible, that is not something just renaming a variable somewhere and it's going to end up everywhere else, right? It's going to be a bit of chunk of work in the case this is happening. And I hope this is also taken into consideration by everybody looking at this.
Well, Michele, how about we take an action to just make sure Sam is aware, because
yeah,
I hope that will just become completely unnecessary work, judging from the comments already. And since we already have quite a lot of other tasks going on, I think probably better that we just arm Sam with the info he needs and let him go go work out what's going to be best.
Yeah, I would sync with Sam on this.
Yeah, even if we end up having to rename the groups and things like that, because we have the delivery groups, and probably there's be also extra work in release tools and things like that, because we have a lot of
Exactly.
automation around this.
That's it, exactly. It's all of that stuff. You know, like release issues. There's a ton of little things that rely on the delivery name. Exactly. So just make sure. And I think if Sam does agree to a switch like this, then what we'll have to do is same as we've always done when we have these kind of ad hoc projects come in, is we will very visibly pause on OKRs or something like that to give ourselves like, okay, delivery group needs to now spend X amount of time doing this thing, right? Like if it's a company decision, then it's a company decision. Like if that's the one everyone thinks is the right one, then we will just make space, but we can't just keep squeezing things around our other projects.
Agree.
Marin's on that issue, and I think our voices will definitely be heard through him.
Exactly.
I suspect we're not going to have to worry about this.
I feel the same. Yeah. So Fabian is sort of involved as well. So I know Fabian is also very aware of the main thing is the visibility, right? So just how long will the confusion go on for if somebody says, oh, delivery, like, like people have in their mind already what that means. So I suspect we don't need to worry about delivery. Orchestration, maybe less so, but as I say, I'm not actually super attached to that name. It's much easier for us to just like we could just rename some labels like and update the handbook. It's not going to be the end of the world if we have to move off that one. But we can see what that looks like.
It's super weird for me because like there are billions of unused names in the world. Why did someone want to steal our name?
They want to steal the success.
They want to steal the success of delivery. Yeah, I know.
So let's let Sam do his thing there, and then we make follow-up plans afterwards.
Good, thank you, Amy.
Cool. And then my second one is kind of also related, I think, which is I'm personally seeing increased numbers of kind of ad hoc requests coming my way. I think that's expected just as teams are reorging. People have got new, longer backlogs, priorities are changing, but I suspect you're all probably seeing the same stuff, right? So just as if you need to push back on stuff, please do. It'll be, we continue with deployments and releases and OKRs. If you have other requests, then just consider how that actually fits in with those things, right? Not to say you shouldn't do it. And actually something which doesn't happen often enough is not very many people ever challenge the team priorities that Michele and I post on Mondays. That is absolutely the place where you all should be coming back to us and saying, hey, but you've asked me to do this other project, or I'm involved in this other thing that we must do, right? So please do challenge us either on Slack or in your one-to-ones so that we can make sure that we're not trying to just do everything. That's largely the thing I'd like us to avoid, is we can never, ever do everything. So let's be clear on like what we actually choose to do. And then we can tell other people we're not doing that thing and escalate up if we need to. We have a lot more support now with Sam and with Fabian around, as well as, of course, Marin. So we have a lot more, we'll have a lot more people to help us actually prioritize things later if they need to, or figure out alternative plans, or basically help us keep our workload manageable.
Thank you, Amy. Anyone else has something else to discuss here?
I have a small question.
Yeah.
So when a package starts getting deployed to production, a comment is posted automatically to the monthly release issue. Should there be information about the diff that is being deployed in that comment? Because we have information in Slack, but Slack is temporary, and Slack search is not the greatest as well. So
Gives you a better history of the promotions, I think, as well. I think it's a really good idea. Like if it's not that hard, which it sounds like we're already calculating the information, we're just posting it at a different spot. I think it would be really good.
You mean to give it a diff compared to the last promotion, right? Not the last package.
Yeah,
So if you don't promote things in between, when you promote, you want to write there, this is what is in production now, I'm rolling out this, so that's the diff. And so you're skipping everything in between because you care only about, yeah, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
yeah, it'll give the diff compared to what is currently on production.
That makes sense, yeah.
I mean, I'm very much like, I'm not going to say we shouldn't do it. I would put it definitely in the nice to have category. So if you want to go for it, then do it. But I personally wouldn't prioritize it against other things. Like, you know, I wouldn't say we shouldn't do this OKR because we're doing that. But if, you know, if you want to go for the change and to kind of like as a side change, I wouldn't be against it. I think the main
Understood.
things of what we track right now are the things compliance are looking for. So I think if there's some additional benefits to tracking it, fine, but I don't think it's not like compliance are not asking for it. They have the information they need already.
Sounds good. The reason I asked, just for context, is because sometimes we have to search for the diff of like a package that was previously promoted, and I think it's easier to search on the monthly release issue rather than going to Slack and scrolling through messages.
Thank you, everybody.
I have something as well that came into my mind reading a message right now. There is this new Sentry instance, right? So is anyone aware if what's the plan to sunset the old one? Because we are sending information to the old one when we deploy something. We are creating releases and things like that. So I'm wondering, I don't even remember how we do this, if we have a token or something like this, and how this will, and how we have to change this to go to the new instance.
Is there a timeline to sunset the old one? Okay.
My understanding is they are going to, so it's already up at like newsentry.gitlab.net or whatever it is. I think eventually they're doing the DNS switch. Like, so they literally sentry.gitlab.net will just suddenly point to the new one. You would hope that that meant they were going to migrate all the access tokens and stuff, so none of these apps broke. But that is a very good question. We should figure out if we do have to do anything.
Is this related to what Marin just posted in
Yeah,
the link?
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly it, yeah.
Because I think they're actually speaking about different authentication method. So
yeah, but they created a new instance.
That's for users. Yeah.
Yeah, so the old one is the one that we are using is kind of, I mean, I think you generate your account using Google, something like this. So you log in with Google Apps and you are muting Grain.
It's dev.gitlab.org. You log in
it's from
via
dev.
dev.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
okay. Yeah. So
strange.
It's anyway, it's a service in that sense, but it's not using Okta. And I think it's also running a very old version of Sentry. So my understanding was that Ethiops took ownership of Sentry as a system, and they created a new instance that is running with Okta. So everything is centralized. And they are, I don't know, what's the migration plan? Because I received a message months ago, weeks ago, don't remember. And I logged in this new things, and there were projects, but not all our projects, right? So I think we're using Sentry. No, I don't. I'm sure we're using Sentry also for release tools. So do we need to do something there as well or not? So this is a good question.
let's create an issue for investigation for that. And then we can try to understand if there is a timeline and we prioritize against this timeline. You can create the issue, some of you, Alessio?
Okay.
For investigation.
Sure.
Thank you.
I think we use Sentry in two ways, right? One is to check for issues in the main Rails repository, and the other is to actually upload errors in release tooling. Is the Sentry integration for release tooling working? Because I've seen a lot of Sentry errors in the last few weeks, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. Like, I'm not sure if it's we should go back and check if it's working, because I think it just silently fails as well, which is probably not the best thing either.
Yeah, usually when there's a tooling error, it tries to upload it to Sentry, that fails, and yeah, that's silent.
Are we using this notification from Sentry?
When
I
Because
don't
we
think I
debug,
ever use.
I mean, when we debug errors from, I mean, I've used the Sentry one in the past when we're trying to see why something failed and debug release tools problems. But if it's working, or if we don't know it's not working, same thing, right? You don't look at
Okay.
this.
Okay, I understand. Okay. Any other topics to discuss?
Yeah, I've added this observability topic for the pipelines and for delivery in general, but I don't know. Like when I click on the link in the invite, it says you have no access. But I found like the document. I found the document delivery system sync and demo, and I've added there. But it looks like it's, I don't know. Do you see my discussion point?
No, I
So
think someone creating a new document for this
Yeah.
invite and is logged to his profile, but in the description, there is a link to the real agenda.
Yeah.
So this
I
one and
I
used.
don't have access to this document. That's the
No,
point.
there's two links in the invite. You don't want
Yeah.
to click the big button that says the notes. You want to click the link above it. I got that confused by that as well. It's
in
a
auto
thing.
meeting right now. Yeah.
Now I see that. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
So anyway, like let's maybe discuss a little bit of observability and the ideas that we have. So
Just
Yeah.
don't want to, for the sake of time, we only have 8 minutes left, Vladimir.
oh,
How long is it going to take? Because we also have to go through release management. Is it something that we can discuss today in the delivery sync and demo, you think?
yes, let's move it to delivery sync and demo. Yes, sure.
I also didn't see in the agenda your discussion point. Did you?
I think I think I really confused. So that I've added my discussion topic to delivery sync system sync and demo, not to that one. Sorry.
Okay, perfect. It's
Yeah.
okay. No worries. Okay. Release management. Ruben, is there something to go through today?
I don't think there's much of an update from Monday. I will say though, the last few days have seen a lot of incidents, but I don't think there's anything to go through unless someone has any questions.
My only question is, have you been seeing a lot in your kind of, because you're APAC and more Europe, have you been seeing a lot of incidents in your APAC Europe time zone? And do you think we've been having a lot in US as well? Because in APAC, I'm seeing a lot, but I'm just trying to establish if it's kind of evenly distributed or some time zones are seeing more than others. But I know you've just got anecdotal evidence.
Yeah, do you mean like have any incidents started during the EMEA time zone?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or do you
So I
just
have-
feel like a lot of them are handovers from?
I have seen a few start in EMEA,
Okay.
but yeah, many also have been handed over.
Hmm,
So like
okay.
yesterday and day before, I think we had like QA failures, and
Yeah.
so yeah, there are.
Interesting.
Please make sure those are all labeled up, because I think when we do get increasing bursts like this, they could be related to test changes, or there could be like an underlying cause that's allowing things to happen. So I definitely want to make sure we follow up with other teams to make sure we're not just receiving like side effects of other changes.
Yeah, I'll check the labeling.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anything else coming up in the recording?